Good morning, third grade. It's Miss Martinez here, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our ELA lesson for the week. Remember that we are only going to get one ELA video per week for the month of June. So this is the only one you're going to see this week, and it's going to help you with your ELA for your packet and everything else. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the packet right here, and I wanted to just review a little bit about point of view before we get into the actual story that we're going to be looking at. So our learning target for today is the same as in the packet. I can discuss how the reader's point of view or perspective may differ from that of the author, the narrator, characters of text, maybe even your own. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look through this. So remember that when I'm talking about point of view, I'm talking about their opinion, their viewpoint, their perspective. It's how I view something. It's my belief, it's my opinion. So if you saw a t-shirt and it was blue and it had a bunch of sparkles on it, my point of view might be, oh, I really like that. I think it's super cute. You might have a different point of view on that though, and you might say, I have a different one. I don't think that's cute at all. I think that's ugly. That's your opinion, your viewpoint on it, okay? So that could be about anything really, any type of topic that we're going to be talking about. So it's usually how we're feeling about it, and we want to make sure that when we're reading something and trying to figure out the point of view, that we pay attention to those clues and say, how did the character react, or how does the author talk about this? Does it talk about it in a positive way or in a negative way? And then you might ask yourself, well, do you agree or disagree with the author's point of view? Do you agree that you think that elephants should be hunted? Or do you say, no, they need to be protected? Okay, so things like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our story for the day. So we're going to be talking about nurses, and we're going to try to see if we can figure out how the author is viewing nurses, their point of view. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this. Make sure that you're following along, reading out loud with me, or you're following along with your eyes, okay? Make sure you're paying attention, you're not getting distracted. All right, let's see. Have you ever been to a doctor's office or hospital lately? If you have, you've probably been cared for by a nurse. Nurses are very important to their communities, and especially now in this time with the coronavirus and everything, we definitely should be appreciating our nurses, right? So we're going to find out the qualities of a good nurse. Nurses work with people who are sick or injured. They must be caring and good with people. Nurses must pay close attention to details because they sometimes make life or death decisions. Nurses must be strong enough to be on their feet all day. They must be caring. So there's a picture of a nurse. A long day. So remember, this is a subtitle or a heading. Nurses work long hours. Some work 4 10-hour days, or even 3 12-hour days each week. So think about that. If you work a 12-hour day, that means you're working from, say, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's a long time. And you're doing so many different things. You're super busy all the time. A hospital nurse has a very busy day. First, she checks doctor's notes on her patients. Then she visits the patients and gives medications and tests. Many patients thank her for her efforts. But nurses sometimes have to be understanding with difficult patients. So this is a hospital nurse has a busy day. Who are nurses? Well, you must attend college to become a nurse. Nurses work in hospitals, doctor's offices, and other places. Some nurses specialize in one area, such as pediatrics, which is dealing with young kids, or emergency care. 91% of the nurses in the US are women. So only 9% are men. Students learning about nursing. So these are nursing students here. Florence Nightingale, here's a picture right here, was a great nurse. She cared for soldiers during the 1800s. Clara Barton was an important nurse during the US Civil War. Nursing has come a long way since the Civil War. Now it uses many new technologies. Many nurses hope that the new technology will help them care for more patients. High calling. Ooh. A great nurse is a person who is patient and kind. She can do many things at once. Good nurses must pay close attention to detail. Being a nurse is a high calling. For many, nursing is a rewarding profession. All right, so let's go to answer some questions. What does the author mean when they say that some nurses specialize in one area, such as pediatrics or emergency care? Does that mean that some nurses travel to different areas to find nursing jobs? Mm. Some nurses see all kinds of patients. Nurses change jobs more often than other people, or sometimes nurses focus on only one type of care. Which one do we think it is here? It doesn't say anything about traveling, right? It doesn't say some nurses have to go here or there, right? It doesn't say that. So I don't think that one's it. Seeing all kinds of patients. Well, this is saying one area. So I don't think that would mean multiple different types of people. Nurses change jobs? Did any say that we change jobs and that they say, oh, they go from nursing to milking a cow? No. But we're saying that we might only focus on one type of care. I might only work with kids. I might only work in the emergency room. I might only work with older people, things like that. Okay, you're specializing in one area. Now, which detail tells you that nurses work long hours? That they're working long hours. That nurses must go to college. Some nurses specialize in one area. Some nurses work 12-hour days, or nursing uses many new technologies. Which one? Come on, it should be easy. Which one, which one, which one? Yeah, we're working 12-hour days. That's long hours. Excellent. All right, these are the two big ones here. What is the author's point of view about nurses? How do they view nurses? How do you think the author is viewing a nurse? Do we think that the author believes that nurses are lazy and that they don't do anything? No, I don't think so either. So which one would best describe this? The author believes that nurses are very important. The author does not like nurses. The author works long hours as a nurse, or the author doesn't care about nurses. Which one best fits here? Pause the video if you need to and answer the question. What are we thinking? There's two that I can get rid of immediately, and that is that the author doesn't like nurses and that the author doesn't care about nurses. Nowhere does it tell me. They're saying, oh, great nurse. Oh, they caring. They're so this, they're kind, blah, blah, right? Never does it say, nurses are awful and they don't do any work. So I don't think those two are it. Now, yes, the author works long hours as a nurse. You might get that confused with saying that the author is saying that they're working long hours, but we don't know that the author, him or herself, is a nurse working long hours. Be careful about the wording there. The best fit is that the author believes nurses are very important, right? They're important to their communities, and it says it right here. All right. And the last one here says, how might this text be different if you wrote it? If you wrote it, pick two ways that it would be different. It'd be written from a young person's point of view. It would go into more detail on the types of technology in the new medical equipment. It would have less information about the daily life of a nurse, or it would have a longer section on Florence Nightingale. Which two of these would be true if you had wrote this text? Pause the video and answer the question. All right, so if you're back, you have an answer. Well, do you know a lot about Florence Nightingale? No, so you would not be able to write a longer section about it, right? And do you know all the different types of technology in the new medical equipment field? No, because I definitely don't either. So you wouldn't be able to write about those two things. You would have less information because you're not a nurse, right? You don't know. And you're young, so it'd be written in a young person's point of view. Excellent, excellent, excellent job, my ladies. Now, here's your short response question for the day. I want to know what kind of person makes a good nurse and why. I want you to tell me in your own point of view, okay, your own opinion. What do you think makes a good nurse? What kind of person makes a good nurse and why? Okay, make sure you give me that why as well. All right, that is it for today. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do your online work and your packet work still, ladies. Super duper important. I hope you ladies have a fabulous week, and I will see you all soon. Adios, amigas.